Coming up, updated information on a campus shaking case.
And later,
really we are just a full library just on wheels.
A DITV exclusive look about how the city is working to spread reading across the city.
The Hawkeyes ride into the win.
Windy days are on the way. All of the full forecast in weather.
All that and more
Coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Wednesday, November 20th, and I'm Hannah Lipsky.
And I'm Jace Bertrand.
And the third member of our team, Ryan Paris, is live outside to tell us about today's weather.
How's it feeling out there, Ryan?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't freezing cold out here. It's currently 38 degrees at the Lindquist Center, but it feels like 24 with the wind chill. It'll be windy and partly cloudy all day and dropping to feels like 13 in the evening. There'll be a bit more sun on Thursday, but with the wind, it'll feel even colder than today. It won't get much warmer than 40, and it'll feel like 30 for most of the day on Thursday. All of the rest of the forecast later on in the show, but for now, back to you guys in the studio.
Our top story today is an update on the hazing allegations for the University of Iowa's Alpha Delta Phi fraternity. 21-year-old Joseph Gaia is facing charges after obstructing officers from searching the house. Iowa City Police found 56 fraternity pledges covered in food and blindfolded in the basement of the fraternity. Alpha Delta Phi has been placed on interim suspension by the university and the national chapter.
A former Iowa politician is leaving his current position. The president of the World Food Prize Foundation, Terry Branstad, has announced that he will be stepping down at the end of January 2025, after leading the organization for almost 2 years. The foundation's goal is to help improve food's availability state and worldwide. After Branstad's departure, Chief Operating Officer of the World Food Prize Foundation, Marshall Hussein, will take over as president in February.
Iowa City has introduced a new way to help those struggling to find housing.
DITV's Liz Schultz is in the newsroom to talk about what this could mean for Iowa City residents.
Yeah, thanks guys. The Iowa City Shelter House has applied for a $7.5 million grant to assist those in need of affordable housing. Due to high demand of housing and rent prices rising in many residencies, community members in the Iowa City area are struggling for accommodations. The new housing grant will include 36 project-based vouchers, including one-bedroom apartments with utilities and access to on-site support services. In order to qualify for the accommodation, the person must have experience being homeless for a year, as well as other circumstances. The shelter house is also required to raise $1.8 million to use the grant. The application will be turned in late November and will be under a pending status. Back to you guys in the studio.
The University of Iowa's undergraduate to graduate program, also known as U2G, is increasing in popularity. This program allows students to complete their bachelor's and master's degree in 5 years. The program currently has nearly 300 students enrolled, which is up 200 from 5 years ago. U2G offers programs for multiple colleges such as the College of Education, Nursing, and Public Health. This program gets students ready for the job market and saves students time and money.
With the theater season continuing, new talent and teachers are making their voices known.
University of Iowa journalism student Alice Cruz is live outside the Iowa Memorial Union to talk about a few of these voices.
We hear of aspiring actors and directors pursuing their dreams in New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago, but we don't often hear of them coming to Iowa. But the University of Iowa Theater Department has attracted many young theater hopefuls to Iowa City.
Michael Flores didn't originally consider pursuing his dream in the Midwest, but when he was offered a spot at the University of Iowa Theater Department as an MFA in directing, he found the program perfectly aligned with his goals.
Iowa kind of happened by accident. in the best way possible. I fell really in love with the new work element.
Flores says one of the department's greatest strengths is its collaboration with the renowned University of Iowa Writers' Workshop.
Us as directors are able to work closely with the playwrights and help develop their work. This past fall, I was able to help develop a piece. We were able to put it in a production setting.
Theater major Laurel Preston says these opportunities are a great introduction to working with other professionals.
Being in the audition space, working with a director, you feel like you are in a real professional space.
She says the small city feel of the university inspires individual focus and growth in her professional development.
Iowa is a wonderful place to grow in this smaller environment. That way you are more prepared for New York, Chicago, LA.
And Flores adds that the university's Midwest charm sets it apart from departments in larger cities.
And I've explained it to my family back home in California as sort of like a hidden gem. The culture of the people here I find inspiring, and you just don't get that everywhere.
Flores and Preston agree they'll carry their university experiences with them as they enter their professional careers. Back to you in the studio.
Following the COVID-19 pandemic, the Iowa City Public Library is working to bring literature back to the forefront of Iowa City. I had the chance to spend a day with some of the library staff to learn how they are working to reach out to the community.
It was always my dream job as a kid, working in a library, and I loved the lifelong learning aspect and the one-on-one interactions that you get to make and the relationships you get to build. And as I was exploring library sciences and library as a career field, it was just clear to me that community outreach was exactly where I wanted to be.
I had opened the Burlington Public Library after the pandemic closures and wanted to bring that skill set to the Iowa City community. But then I was also told that there was a bookmobile in the Community Access Services Department, and I was absolutely thrilled to be taking materials out to the community where they organically live and exist and thrive, because that's how you're welcome, right? You eliminate barriers to access.
Libraries are vital parts of our community. We need them. They're treasures. They make literature and arts and the people who make literature, who create literature, accessible for free. It's like the best use of our tax dollars that I can think of.
I mean, I think that we are in a very unique situation here and in a unique setting. I do think that libraries are beloved across the country and across the globe, and I think that they hold a special place in a lot of people's hearts, but I think that it's just even more unique and exciting here with our love for literature.
We are a hyper busy society, and the opportunity for several of us that were lucky or privileged to slow down and really remember our love for literacy, our love for world discovery, our love for hearing perspectives and stories outside of our own was renewed. But then I think that we've also had a deeper appreciation for outreach services, bookmobile, book bike, pop-ups, because we recognize the fact that the library is not just a brick and mortar institution. Obviously in the digital world, it's been living in your pocket through apps for several years. But that community, that connection, that piece was really lost during the pandemic closures, and I think there's a renewed vigor to be in community and part of it and together again.
These are really kind of democratizing spaces of knowledge, information, and future possibility, right? You know, they're safe places for people to just kind of be quiet. And I remember being a kid and realizing, you know, that I could take 10 books out, you know, and if you're a reader or you're a lover of books, you know, that feeling of magic never goes away. Like, I still have it.
Great, I got one more. Spencer. Are we looking for interlibrary lawn?
Oh yes, I didn't even notice there was a seat there.
Knowing that it's become renewed. I think that folks relied on their libraries quite a lot for their sanity and their safety and their security and also knowledge sharing. And we always do in times of crisis. To reach out to the community around the world to let folks know you're okay, you often rely on your library. And so I think we see that with the bookmobile, but I think there's a renewed vigor for this in recognizing that libraries are community anchor institutions, particularly in times of need and crisis throughout the nation.
The second part of this documentary short will air exclusively on DITV this Friday morning.
And coming up later, cleanliness gets competitive.
plus a Hawkeye take on the Masters.
We'll be right back with more after the break.
In Iowa City, history is being made every day. DITV is capturing it all. The future of our nation.
I'm here at Big Grove Brewery, where the Johnson County Democratic Party is hosting
at a polling location in Waukesha, Wisconsin, which has been an influential county.
I'm here at Dean Lamar Allen Elementary School in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're a few hours from
Historic careers.
Despite the slow start, the Hawkeyes still managed to get their first win of the season.
Night on the West Coast for the Iowa Hawkeyes, not just because of the loss to UCLA. Iowa, defensively, they played a full 4 quarters, but offensively, one man continues to put up.
Student experiences.
I'm at the Ped Mall in downtown Iowa City, the center for nightlife. And bars have been...
I'm here at the Ped Mall, where Iowa City residents come downtown to celebrate a beloved
Here at the Iowa City Animal Care and Adoption Center, where volunteers are working round the clock to get these animals adopted.
Politics, sports, and art. Local, state, and nationwide. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, DITV.
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 DITV Sports.
DITV.
DITV.
Is capturing history.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in live on the DailyIowyn.com or listening on KRY 89.7 FM.
Now let's take a look back outside with Ryan, who has the forecast for the week ahead.
Guys, we're going to be bundling up the rest of the way headed into Thanksgiving break. On Friday, the wind and clouds will continue. It'll be in the low 40s, but feel like the 30s due to the continued wind chill. But on Saturday, the sun should poke back out and the wind should die down. It won't get much warmer than the low 40s though, and once again will feel colder. The wind chill might not be as harsh on Sunday, and it should reach the mid 40s as a high. Thanksgiving week will begin much like this week ended, with temperatures in the 40s and lots of clouds. But it'll get slightly warmer on Tuesday. And that's all I got for now. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Ryan. And Hannah, I'm torn right now because one, I can't stand cold weather. I'm a summer boy through and through, but I do love snow. I think it's so beautiful. So I'm a bit heartbroken, but I'm really excited to see when the snow starts coming.
Yeah, Jace, I know you're from Nevada, all sun there, but I personally am from the Midwest, from Illinois, where it snows constantly. So I'm expecting it. But you know what I'm excited for?
What are you excited for?
To hear about some Hawkeye sports.
And that's where we're going to take it to DITV Sports' Sydney Goldberg, who has the full rundown for Hawkeye athletics.
Thanks, guys. Noah Kent went on a run over the summer in the U.S. Amateur Championship, going all the way to the finals. DITV's Joe Keller has more on golf's own Happy Gilmore.
Noah Kent started playing golf when he was just 3 years old. However, his love was for the game of hockey until he turned 13 and got the opportunity to meet PGA Tour golfer Rory McIlroy.
He actually got me to quit hockey to play golf because, you get out there and you meet, one of the best players in the world, and you're kind of like, okay, this is pretty cool. I want to be like him.
Kent met his caddy, AJ Ferensky, through a mutual friend and played together for the first time in the 2022 Porter Cup, where they placed 11th. Kent offered Ferensky the opportunity to caddy for him at the U.S. Amateur Championship during their second time together at the Western Open.
When we got there, he presented the opportunity to me, and I was kind of overwhelmed, excited for the opportunity, and didn't really know what was going to come. But yeah, so he kind of threw it on me after the Western, and it's gone from there.
After Kent's early struggles at the championship, Ferensky turned to Ryan Henderson, an acquaintance of Ferensky's who is in the world of golf, for some advice.
He asked me what I say to Noah before the first hole, and I was like, I usually just say, hit a good shot here. And he's like, well, try tomorrow before the first hole. Just say it's a one-hole tournament. And I ended up saying that to him. He birdied the first hole, and he told me to keep saying it every hole until Noah told me to get lost or until it kept going.
With the ability to drive the ball up to 340 yards accurately, Kent believed he had the upper hand in the match format of the U.S. Amateur Championships.
I feel like I had an upper hand before I even teed off. I really wanted to win. I feel like I willed my way to win a lot, and I kind of wanted it more than a lot of other players did that tournament. So it's I believe a lot more in myself than I probably ever have in my life.
Even with the high stakes of qualifying for the Masters, Kent and Ferensky kept it light on the course, even having a hype song before every round.
warm-up song while we were on the range or like driving the course was Welcome to the Jungle. So we were like making a joke whenever we'd walk up to the first tee, it's like, welcome to the jungle, like you're gonna like die or whatever like that, like it says in the song. It's because there's so many people around the tee.
The first time they even mentioned the Masters was on the tee box of the winner-take-all 18th hole.
He's like, how bad do you want it? Like, do you want to go play in the Masters? That's the first time he brought it up. I'm like, yeah. And I hit the shot close, and I kind of like pimp stepped it in the video. I'm kind of like, yeah, that's really good.
With a 5-foot putt for birdie on hole 18, Kent officially qualified for the Masters, a dream shared by all golfers.
I made a joke to my parents that I'm probably going to cry on the first tee. I mean, it's like the place that everybody wants to play.
For once the season ends, his focus will shift to the Masters, which will happen in mid-April 2025. From Fink Pine Golf Course, I'm Joel Keller, DITV Sports.
The Iowa Hawkeyes displayed their best defensive outing of the year on Tuesday. DITV Sports reporter Sam Kupris tells us all about it and more.
The 4-0 Iowa Hawkeyes hosted the Rider Broncs on Tuesday night. From the get-go, the Hawkeyes were out and running and scoring at will on the Broncs defense. The Hawkeyes displayed their best first half of play on the season as they went back to the locker room up 40-26. The Hawkeyes defense played by far their best game of the year. The Hawkeyes conceded a season-low 58 points and allowed just one made three from the Broncs.
But I thought we were really locked in defensively. A lot of people making plays, being involved, and changing the game, from the defensive standpoint.
On the offensive side of the ball, the two-headed monster of Peyton Sanford and Owen Freeman led the way in production. Peyton finished with a season-high 22 points, and his buddy Owen Freeman added 19 points himself. The Iowa Hawkeyes made easy work of the Rider Broncs, winning convincingly 83-58. The Hawkeyes look to keep their undefeated record untarnished as they face off this Friday against the Utah State Aggies in Kansas City, Missouri. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Sam Kupris, DITV Sports.
The injury bug has bitten the Hawkeye quarterbacks this year, and after the bye week, the QB room looks a little different. Brendan Sullivan went down with an ankle injury against UCLA that's expected to be season-ending. After Sullivan went down, Jackson Stratton got the remaining snaps under center, and returning quarterback Cade McNamara has been working his way back through practice, but his status for this weekend is still unknown. Despite the turmoil at quarterback, the team is confident with all of their options.
You never know who's going to be in there. It's next man in mentality, and whoever's going to go in there, they're going to do their job. And I got confidence in all of our quarterbacks that they're going to step in and do a great job just because of how they practice. Whoever's under center this next Saturday, I know they're going to do a great job, and we're going to trust them to do a great job.
Hawkeye's answer at quarterback is up in the air as team heads to Maryland this weekend. One of Iowa's finest Hawkeyes is up for a prestigious award. Caleb Johnson's phenomenal season has him as a semifinalist for the Doak Walker Award. The Doak Walker Award is awarded to the top running back in college football each year. Johnson's just one touchdown away from breaking Sean Green's single-season touchdown record and capping off his historic season. Two sets of Hawks are looking to fly into a win. The Hawkeyes women's basketball team is facing off against the Kansas Jayhawks in Sioux Falls, South Dakota tonight. Both teams are currently undefeated with a 4-0 record. The Jayhawks have defeated the Hawkeyes in their last two meetings, but Iowa's looking to break that streak. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. on Big Ten Network tonight. Now I'm going to send it back out to Ryan Paris for the rest of weather.
Guys, if you can get past these temperatures, these next few days are going to be a great time to go out and fly a kite. Wind is more common in the fall, winter, and spring as it's caused by differences in the air temperature. And gusts, or periods of higher wind, are caused by friction, atmospheric pressure, and more air temperature changes. When it's combined with the cold front that has moved in from central Canada, it creates differences between the actual and feels-like temperatures that can be 10 degrees or more. This means that temperatures are going to be in the low 40s all week, but it'll feel more like the low 30s. Back to you guys in the studio.
Now, Jace, I'm excited for these holiday, vibes and the holiday weather to come, but What are you thinking?
I certainly am. I'm certainly excited for Christmas to roll on through in the holiday season. And, you know, with the cold weather, I think I'll be able to tolerate it for a bit.
Yes, well, thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at thedailyiowan.com.
For Ryan Paris and Sydney Goldberg, I'm Hannah Lipsky.
And for Liz Schultz and Alice Cruz, I'm Jace Bertrand. See you again on Friday morning right here on DITV.